Interesting. What an absolute cracking morning. Looking good, Hobart. Looking good. G'day everybody, welcome back. Just want to touch on a subject that can be a bit divisive. Now, anyone who watches this channel and follows me will know that I like to crack on a bit. And I guess as motorcyclists, we like to go quick. Most of us do anyway. The road safety campaigns are always bleating on about speed being a factor, one of the fatal 5. I don't want to argue that because, you know, I'm sure that it does contribute. However, my belief is inattentiveness is probably the biggest killer. But, you know, on bikes, you tend to be a bit more aware of your surroundings. You tend to be hyper aware because of your vulnerability. And I do tend to want to crack on, and part of that is a survival instinct as well. Like, you know, you get out on the open roads, no traffic, and, you know, nice wide country road, and you do tend to want to push it along a bit. And I find that as you go faster, your eyes tend to get higher on the horizon, and you are scanning for threats far more vigorously than you are when you're just cruising along at, you know, your normal posted speed limits. For me, when I'm riding in traffic, which we're not riding in today because it's early on a Sunday morning and there's no bugger about, but I tend to not trust those behind me, and I want to move through the traffic rather than move with the traffic. I don't trust them behind me. I can't see what they're doing. I can't even begin to try and predict what they might do. So I tend to want to move just a little bit faster than the traffic around me, and I do that on the highway as well. I find that if you sit stagnant, they lose sight of you and they forget you're there. But if you keep moving through the traffic, you've got a far greater chance of people being aware of you in their space. And I think the speed factor too depends on culturally how you were brought up. I grew up in a time, like, I've been doing this my whole life. I've been riding bikes my whole life, and I've had a road license for 40 years, and you tend to develop you know, more awareness, I think, as you get older and you have a few bloody close calls or whatever. But for me, like, my very first license was an ACU, a motorcycle racing license, and I had that when I was before I had my driver's license. And my first car license was a speedway license. So you just when you grow up and you're a kid and you get on your bike, and all you do is you get on your bike and you grip it and you rip it and you just go flying through the paddock and you race your mates and you race your brother and you race everyone else. I think that becomes sort of ingrained into your DNA. You just want to go fast. Now, of course, the road isn't your private racetrack, and I get that. But there's a time and a place, and if you want to go and enjoy your motorcycle, enjoy the power and the speed and the thrill that you get from it, you need to choose the time and the place to be able to do that. But in all seriousness, now I'm not trying to give advice to anybody, and so I'm certainly not going to tell anyone that they should be breaking speed limits. All I'm saying is that for me, I find that moving through the traffic rather than with the traffic has kept me alive far more than people give it credit for, I think. Certainly don't condone lane splitting at speeds, etc. That sort of thing's nonsense. See what I mean? Like, I had no idea what that guy was going to do then. Put his left-hand indicator on as if he was going to go straight ahead at 2 miles per hour. Oh shit! See, I'm speeding here and I shouldn't be, because this is a favourite hunting spot. This is a 60 kilometre zone and it goes to a 100 kilometre zone, and the coppers like to sit just up here near this tree, and they ping people that are doing like 70 kilometres an hour in a 60 zone, because it's so goddamn dangerous, isn't it? And the thing is that, like, if there was an accident, for example, take let's call it a serious accident, let's call it a fatality. Someone's on their phone, not looking what they're doing, they go through an intersection and collide with another vehicle, motorcycle, car, truck, doesn't matter. If either one of those vehicles is speeding, on the crash report, that is noted. So therefore speed becomes a factor in that accident, irrespective of what the percentage of blame that speeding may have, the only outcome that it may actually have resulted in is the position of the vehicle on the road. The severity of the impact, of course, is going to be greater, because you've got more force, because mass times acceleration equals force. However, it becomes a factor, and it's a very easy argument for authorities to say, well, speeding kills, speeding contributes to accidents, speeding contributes to injuries and all this other horrible stuff, so therefore we need to have more technology to control speeding, more cameras, point to point, bloody mobile, fixed. They can get funding for it. They can get funding for it easily, and it just generates revenue. I saw a thing the other day. There was a speed camera in Melbourne somewhere that has generated $11 million. Not a bad effort. Now we're pretty lucky in Tasmania. The police are pretty good. They used to issue warnings, but they've recently just ratcheted that back for I don't know whether it's permanently or whether it's just for a period of time, where they're saying enough's enough, because we do have a fairly disproportionate number of motorcycle deaths and accidents in Tasmania. I don't know how many, I don't know what the statistics around those are, but we do, so they're not issuing warnings at the moment, but generally they're pretty good, and the roads are pretty empty, and we don't have a lot of radars, and the roads are generally pretty good, in pretty good condition. So we are a little bit fortunate down here, certainly more fortunate than some of our mainland brothers and sisters, particularly those in Victoria and New South Wales. But and you know, like, that's brought me undone. I got, when I went to the XS 1100 rally, I think it was in 2016, I think, I got pinched for speeding in New South Wales. And then the very next day, I got caught speeding in Tasmania. So, not a bad effort from me. 2 states in 2 days. But I guess it's a bit of a case of you can't do the time, don't do the crime. So as far as I'm concerned, I will continue to ride through traffic rather than with traffic. And if I receive a penalty for that, then so be it. But above all, stay safe out there. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. It really does help. And I'll catch you next time on Andy's Motorcycle Obsessions. Bye for now.